better than that. Let's hear it for me! One more time, ladies and gentlemen, it's me! All right, everyone take out $20 and give it to me! Hey, that works in Searchlight, all right? Much easier to fool out there. Man, how is everyone doing out there? Are you having a good time already? And we actually had the Rolling Stones in here. They're all singing. Everyone was, man, this is fantastic. Well, I would like to welcome you all to the River Palms in beautiful Laughlin, Nevada. Laughlin, Nevada, the passive-aggressive gambling capital of the world. What happens in Laughlin gets canceled after 2 episodes. I was sad to see that show go. I really was. 2 episodes, and it dawned on me, I'm like, Laughlin, Nevada just may well be the last city in America that thinks Melanie Griffith is hot. And I think she needs that. Well, I'm making those jokes, but I really love coming out to Laughlin. Laughlin's a fantastic town. I really have a good time here. I love the beauty. You know what? I like Laughlin for the same reason that you people like Laughlin. It's not Las Vegas. What do you need with all that money and fame and bad traffic? You have everything you need. You have the Watchman, Vicki Lawrence, and clear passage to Needles, California. I actually live in Las Vegas. I'm from Las Vegas. I'm from a little town just outside of Las Vegas, Chicago, Illinois. And so a lot of Midwesterners have relocated out west. We have any folks from the Midwest out here tonight? Make a little noise if you do. Yeah, they wisely seated you folks in the back. Where are you folks from, Midwest? Iowa. Well, this really is the big city then. Fantastic. Well, that's great. I'm glad you made it all the way out here. I lived in Chicago all of my life, and we moved out here. Everyone has different reasons for why they move out west. Mine was a little different. It wasn't because I just got tired of shoveling snow in the winter or just bringing out humidity in the summer. I moved out here because March 31st of this year, a freak storm destroyed my apartment building in Carroll Stream, Illinois. Thank you for your sympathy. And it wasn't a tornado. Everyone thinks it's a tornado. It was something called a microburst. Now, if you're unaware, we got a few people who seem to know what it is. If you are unaware of what a microburst is, Webster's Dictionary defines a microburst as one huge-ass storm that destroys your shit. And it did. It just wiped out everything, the whole building. My wife and I were actually standing outside of our building looking at what used to be an apartment, and we said, well, it's time to move to Vegas. Because when you find out you just lost everything, don't you want to be in a major gambling mecca of the world? They've got 24-hour counselors in Vegas for that phrase. We just lost everything. We will find a sympathetic ear. Oh, man, and you know what? The Red Cross actually came. And you know you're a disaster victim when the Red Cross shows up. They don't just show up to say hi or bring cookies. They show up because you're screwed. And so we were watching, and the Red Cross, they were great to us. They gave us disaster relief in the form of a MasterCard debit card with $75 on it. Yeah, we survived for about an hour. And that trip to Walmart really lasted. It's funny, the back of the card very specifically said to be used for necessities such as food and sundries, not to be used for the purchase of alcohol, tobacco, or firearms. We were a little upset at that, because you know what? If I find out I just lost my house in a disaster, I want to smoke a cigarette, I want to stick drink, and I want to shoot somebody. And my wife, she's the smart one in the family. She read the back of the card and she realized it didn't say anything about hookers. I'll let a few of you catch up. That's a pretty funny joke. Oh, man. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. Recently I was driving with a friend of mine, an old female friend of mine from high school. Just long friends. I actually knew her in grade school. And we grew up together. I hadn't seen her in a long, long time. We were taking a drive. We were going to go out and have some lunch. One of those brand new Volkswagen Bugs drove right by. And out of nowhere, she just hauls off. Slug bug! That's right. You played that game too? Good Lord. sword, slug bugs, anything. If you saw the Volkswagen bug, you just hit the person as hard as you can next to him and scream slug bug. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're 37. What the hell? And she's like, oh, it's a Volkswagen bug, come on, Andy. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, you know what? We're grown adults now. If we're going to play a game based on the names of cars, I see Hummers driving up and down the road all day. Yeah, you don't know that one. I'm sure you don't. I heard one of them, we don't know that one. Oh, hell you do. You came to Laughlin. I know what happens in Laughlin. Oh, man. Yeah, I live in Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And that's good for me, because that means I only have herpes in Las Vegas. And some of you are very pleased to hear that. That's good. Oh, man alive. Well, let me tell you one more. When I lived in Chicago, a long time ago, I actually used to be a clown for Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. Like I made that shit up. Come on. It's true. I used to be a clown. Now, it's difficult if you work as a clown in the Chicagoland area, because we, in Chicago, we had our fair share of famous clowns. Ronald McDonald, the entire McDonald's chain got started in Chicago area. So Ronald McDonald from Chicago. Bozo the Clown, you had one in California. We had one for 40 years in Chicago. And there's also one other one that a lot of people forget. Nationally known, noted serial killer, John Wayne Gacy. Yeah, you know him back in Iowa. For the rest of you who apparently just never heard, John Wayne Gacy, several movies made about him, several books about him, murdered 32 young men, buried him under the crawl space of his house for fun, and was a birthday party clown. That is a tough act to follow. I would actually show up at events in full clown regalia, and people would walk up and go, you know that serial killer John Gacy, he was a clown. And I'd have to say, yeah, but I'm just learning. I got mimes buried under my house, for God's sake. And I found out kids are not particularly nice to clowns. I used to have kids, I don't know how many of you ever did this, but I used to have, when I was dressed up as a clown, I had little kids come up and they would actually, I guess because they see you in the circus and you're made of some space-age acme polymer that can't be hurt or burned, and I had kids actually come up and just start stepping on me and kicking me in places you generally don't want to be kicked. And okay, you seemed like you were lost. I just wanted to And my last day as a clown, I actually had a little 10-year-old kid come up, and he just kept coming up. Hi, clown! Boom! Right in the crotch. Hey, clown! Boom! Right in the crotch. And I grabbed him, and I found his dad, and I'm like, hey, would you mind? I actually am a person underneath all this wig and makeup and shoes and stuff. I actually hurt when you kick me in places like that. Could you please tell your son not to kick me? Hoping the dad would understand. And instead I got this. He's just a little boy. And he even gave him the tussle. I hate the tussle. He's just a little boy. Listen up, clown. You have to expect certain things and certain behavior from certain people. And I said, yeah, well, serial killer John Gacy was a clown. You get your kid out of my crawl space, all right? And kids are very mean in other ways when you're a clown. I had, picture this, shoes, nose, makeup, the whole 9 yards. I had a kid come up to me one time and go, that's not your real hair. So you knew he was smart. Probably from Bullhead City. That's not your real nose. Those aren't your real feet. And the thing is, I'm a smartass. I wanted to say, that's not your real father. Circus comes to town every year, kid. Ask your mom what she was doing 8 years ago, you know?